My name's Auburn, and I fucking hate soccer. So sit around with these two insecure assholes as they talk about it for 3 hours. This is the DU Football Show.
Like Bill O'Reilly, he'll do it live. He'll do it live.
He will do it live, and he did do it live.
Yeah, he did it really well the first time, and then there's this little red button that means record that I didn't hit because I'm running the ones
That's
and
what
twos.
happens when you're older and you're now colorblind.
Let's start the show.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston.
Sam Houston?
Arsenal fans have another Sam. Right, the fucking Gooner Graham. Smells of a lord. Looks great in shorts. Sam Prem, hey.
Sam Graham.
Fucking United! Fucking United!
Hello and welcome to the DU Football Show, a completely biased recap of the English Premier League. Finally, the English Premier League, as told by two common American schmucks. I'm your host, Sam Houston, and across the way from me, with all that hair, looking like a Jack Grealish fuckboy, my co-host, Mr. Samuel Graham. Sammy, how you doing, buddy?
Good. Retired from that life, thank God. But, no, doing well. It's a little weird to be back, isn't it?
Once a fuckboy, always a fuckboy.
Not true. It's strange, though.
Yeah.
I actually had to do notes.
I know. It's like watch all the games.
It's weird.
And you had to work like a motherfucker, too.
I know.
Which
I
makes it
fell
even
asleep
tougher.
watching the old highlights last night for the games I couldn't see.
Oh, if you only had that supplier life like me and you wouldn't have to worry about that kind of shit.
Here. Yeah.
Hey, do me a favor. Go make that number. I got to go buy a steak dinner this weekend, okay?
I'm not in that division.
Okay.
I can actively sell against you.
Oh, heard.
Because technically, we're 7 little companies within one company.
We're recording at the DU Public House just outside the nation's capital. You can check us out on all podcast platforms. Be sure to rate, subscribe, review, and share with a footballing friend. Should you want to chat with us, there is many ways that you can. Mr. Graham, tell the good people how they can get in touch.
Absolutely. It is at DU Football Show on all the social medias and dufootballshow@gmail.com to get in touch via email.
Be sure to tell me how much you hate the production, because on the ones and twos tonight, yours truly, Producer Mel on assignment in New York City, watching the Rockettes. They
I don't know if that's on assignment.
legs.
I guess kicking maybe is the tie-in.
She's with Brijan, well, the Jan part of Brijan in New York City, so one less problem I have to worry about.
Yeah, fair enough. That's true.
That works out pretty well, I would say.
Yeah, and your numero uno snuggle buddy came in, so I get a night off.
With him, or our in-studio guest tonight?
Yes.
Oh, no, the Big B's already taken that over. I have seen my dog for basically a total of 10 minutes today because he has spent all of it on our boy.
Nice.
In bed with him, on the couch with him. He's like, oh, you're my cuddle buddy now. Who, mom? Where, mom? Don't care about mom.
Yeah. Well,
I'm only cuddling with Big B because Jan's not here.
Oh, that's true. He is the lone person who did cuddle with Jan at a 3rd of July party.
well, careful. All the pheromones could turn the fucking dog gay. Turn the fucking dog gay.
Do you understand me?
Dog gay.
I'm going to say it for you real slow.
Dog gay.
Does this dog know the truth?
Better than Copper ever did.
We are getting all kinds of inside.
Oh, this is inside jokes. Inside jokes.
Set myself to work in the wine and spirit industry as I stump all over it. And both have a deep, passionate love for all things distilled spirits. But you know what? None of it matters, because we, as the red-blooded Americans we are, have a drink in our hand throughout this show and every single show. And the list, all that matters. We start the fucking list tonight, Mr. Graham.
Yes, we do. We start with number 20. This is the Craigelachie 13-year-old Bas Armagnac finish. 92 proof, 46% by volume. Should run you about $65 on the shelf. Sam, I think you said you got it for about $70, $75?
About 70.
There you go. Perfect. Rated a 93 by the Whisky Advocate tasting panel. It is from Speyside, and your blurb comes from Miss Julia Higgins, who you told me the first time we did this recording that she was new to the tasting panel.
Yes, she is.
All right, so here she goes. And I quote, Master Blender Stephanie McLeod is at it again with this sumptuous sipper, which is soft, sweet, and lovely. On the nose, there's apple pie, nutmeg, cinnamon stick, vanilla extract, and cookie dough wafting from the glass. There's also a trace of earthiness thanks to a clean, grassy note and the slightest bit of salinity. The palate is well spiced, honeyed, and full of vanilla sweetness with some espresso and black pepper. A delightfully rich finish offers up a mouthful of baked apples and lingering spice.
This needed ice for me. I liked it neat, but it has really opened up with ice, and it's gotten really lovely and sweet. Lots of honey. Lots of honey.
So I just had it neat for the first time. Nose is pretty accurate. The salinity and heat stands out big time. Neat.
Yeah.
I get a lot of that salt for some reason.
Still get the salt. You'll still get the salt when it's got a little water to it. It just, a little ice to it, a little chill. It just really opens up the sweetness in there. Oh, Auburn, feel free to chime in about the whiskey since you are a whiskey connoisseur like the rest of us.
The first thing that I get off of that, though, is vanilla.
Yeah. Okay.
The salinity is an afterthought there.
Yeah, but it's still there.
It's still there. Yeah. But the first thing I get is the big vanilla.
Yeah. I got to tell you.
It's delicious, though. I like it.
So there's a lot of old French oak brandy barrels are starting to get used a lot. You're seeing it with cognac barrels and you're seeing it with Armagnac barrels. My personal opinion, I'm preferring the Armagnac finishes over the cognac finishes.
I prefer Armagnac over cognac in general.
Likewise, and there's a few reasons behind that, right? So we've talked about it before, but it bears repeating since we're talking about something that's specifically Armagnac finished. So imagine Bordeaux, the wine region Bordeaux, and then north of Bordeaux is where cognac is, and then south of Bordeaux is where Armagnac is. Think of this almost like the state of California. You have the body of the state of California is Bordeaux, San Francisco is cognac, LA is Armagnac. Drastic temperature differences. So while it's the same grape, typically aged in the same wood, normally Armagnac gets distilled in a column still as opposed to a pot still, and a pot still for cognac. But typically, the Armagnacs are really good younger. Like they can come off really well at 1 to 3 years aged, where a cognac needs to be 4 to 6, 8 to 10. It needs a little bit more to it.
Yep. And
I'm finding the real Armagnac has much more of an upfront sweetness to it than cognac does. Cognac's a little drier, but I'm finding that upfront sweetness really fucking plays well with whiskey. What I
also love about Armagnac in general is the earthiness. It tastes, the best word I can use to describe it is rustic, where it's more like lingering sweetness and kind of brightness from cognac. Armagnac is much more, for me, you get that initial sweetness, but then it lends to kind of mushroom and grass and earthy flavors. And so it just, the best, I don't know why, but the best word I can use to describe it is rustic. It tastes like it's from the olden days rather than cognac, which is made to be a bit more in the club and fun. Yeah. You know what I mean? Armagnac's your end of the pub, 100-year-old pub, old guy sitting there. Cognac's your, Lil John. You know what I mean? That's one for the kids.
What do you think of the whiskey, Auburn?
It hits at the right price point. I mean, I'm not paying for this, so I love it.
The free price point. That is hard-hitting analysis there from one Mr. Sprinkadink. The other fun thing that's worth mentioning is Craigelachie is one of the blends that goes into Dewar's. So everybody always knows Aberfeldy as being the main one, but this is all part of that kind of Dewar's household. So if you taste this on its own and then you hear that it's got kind of the same blend as some of the Dewar's, you get to, spoiler alert, there will be a Dewar's later on the list. You can kind of see the comparisons. You can see like when you have Johnny Walker Black and you're like, oh, I can taste the Macallan in this. I can taste the Mortlock in this, which is always fun with blends. So, Mr. Graham, what else should we always do?
I mean, this isn't as peaty as like a Lefroy or anything like that. It's got a little bit more sweetness to it. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, end of the day, it's a Space Side, so Space Side's always going to stay away from peat. It's always going to be more wood influenced than anything else.
Yeah, wood, light floral,
Yeah.
kind of fleeting flavor. Doesn't really last super long. This one actually has a longer finish than most Space Sides that have. I think that probably is mostly the Armagnac as well. We always remember to drink responsibly, though.
Very good. Let's get into it, Mr. Graham.
Let's do that.
Let's try that one again. we are so
Fucking spastic.
We are so
Jesus
fucking special.
Christ.
We are. Fuck me.
One of us has to stop drinking.
Oh, hold on. You gotta give me a nod when you want to start talking because your ass is muted because you don't like footy.
One of us has to stop drinking long enough to get rid of the tremors.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's always a few teams that come back from a long break in a fog. A couple of sides fighting for Champions League ball came out fucking swinging. Newcastle 3, Leicester 0, Brighton 3, Southampton 1. Magpies have not lost one single fucking step, Mr. Graham.
No, they did not. Despite most important parts of their squad were away with their respective national teams. And Callum Wilson didn't even play. Big respect to Eddie Howe for taking the knee before the game, though. We do want to mention that. He has before, but this time more than ever. It means more from him because of how tight his fucking pants are. Did you notice that? The amount of
tight.
work that man had to get through to get down and get back up in respect and honor of Black Lives Matter is absolutely insane.
It's not easy.
So big respect for that motherfucker right there. Anyway, Amartey had a bad tackle that probably deserved a card, but he didn't get one. However, the penalty was given. And Chris Wood almost put a hole in the net with the power he used from that penalty after just, 3 minutes?
Oh, there's two ways of putting that ball in the back of the net. You either do it with finesse and you put it where the keeper can't get it, or you fucking just launch right the fuck through to make sure you keep it down that it doesn't sky.
Absolutely.
Wood did number 2.
Correct. That's also how he explains to the manager why he's late for training. Chris, why are you late? Wood did number 2. Because he's a big dumb idiot.
Oh, fuck me.
Just 4 minutes later, everybody's favorite Peruvian, isn't he? Miguel Amarón, is that right?
Paraguayan.
Paraguayan, sorry. You're absolutely right about that. Picked up where he left off before the break. After a little 1-2 with Bruno Guimaraes. One of the most composed finishes you'll see this season, I think. Took that ball in stride. It was a great pass from Guimaraes, but composed himself, one touch, and then just slotted it to the far corner. Takes a wee jaunt over to the corner flag, and slides on both knees, arms out. What are you worried about?
Perhaps a certain number 10 on a certain club that I support should probably watch those videos on how to do that properly because he fucked it off twice.
100 million pound number 10 that plays for a certain club in Sky Blue should take note of that because that idiot fucked off at least 4 chances today.
Yeah, he did.
It was terrible from Grealish. Just take some, cues from your idol.
So what you needed from Newcastle is exactly what you got. You got Almiron on the score sheet. You got Wood as the backup striker on the score sheet. Joe Linton gets you a goal. It's the right people scoring goals that you need scoring goals. And all of this without Callum Wilson, without Alan St. Maximin is still just a sub player right now because he's still nursing himself back to health. Like the most important player on their team last year, and they're doing just fine without him. Imagine what they will be doing
With
him.
Absolutely.
When he's good and healthy.
100%. But Joe Linton did, as you say, finished off Leicester. He had a free header, though, from a corner. It summed up how bad Leicester really were on the day.
That's exactly what I was about to mention
how do you
here.
lose track of the biggest man on the pitch?
Foxes, very sloppy. It's
That was
exactly
terrible.
what I wrote.
Absolutely terrible.
Is this a one-off for them? Is it just hey, we got back from the World Cup, we're missing our string puller in James Madison. Maybe we're
that didn't help, obviously.
or do we think that this is they've had a tough go so far this season, and yeah, they had a nice little run of games, but are we going to see them slide back into problems?
I think they're going to see them slide back into problems, to be honest with you. I really do.
Yeah.
Danny
the color
Ward
commentator, by the way, was defending your boy Dougie, saying that it's not all on him.
Well, it was Dougie's fault. I was just about to say that. I have right here, it summed up how bad Leicester were on the day, comma, was talking about the defending on Joe Litton, comma, Danny Ward could have saved that for me. I thought he could have done much better with that header.
He probably could have.
But the Foxes are just bad, man. The Leicester's just not a good team this season. For whatever reason, they cannot put it together. Partially the defense, mostly Danny Ward. Doug. Auburn, we call him Doug because he's the most basic fucking white boy twat you ever want to see in your life.
Yeah.
And he's not good at anything. Doug.
Yeah, so we just call him Doug, and we say Dougie's going to Doug, even though his name's Danny. Because we think that little of him, we just call him Doug. Yeah. Do we really need to start taking Newcastle seriously?
Yeah,
I mean, I think
100%.
before the break, we were kind of like, okay, this team could be a champ. Like, this team's a Champions League side.
Question. I don't remember, and I want to know if you do. Was the 3-3 with City at
It was
St.
at St.
James?
James.
It was
at St. James.
I'd like to see what they do against us in a couple days' time. Mm-hmm. I'd like to see what they do against United.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see what they do against City away.
Yeah.
And then I will be a lot firmer in my stance. But as of right now, I'm leaning towards they are actual contenders for Champions League.
Yeah, because
I don't think they're, barring major injuries, I don't think they're going to slip away. Mm-hmm. And as long as those injuries don't happen on February 1st,
right,
they will more than
they'll
likely
buy whatever they need.
Right,
And,
but if they decide to not fuck up the squad harmony, right?
Frankly, they're already pretty deep.
Well,
all they got to
correct.
do is play cup matches. They're fairly deep.
But what I'm saying is, if they pick up an injury the first week of January, they got 3 weeks to sort it, right?
Right.
For whatever price anybody wants for anyone, really, because they have the entire Saudi oil fields at their beck and call.
Yeah, they can basically just look at a team and go, how many zeros?
Exactly. But my point is they can only do that if the transfer window's open.
Right.
So if they think, hey, we're good, we'll wait till the summer and strengthen, with identifiable targets and, this, that, the other, have time to research and do this, whatever. They get to, February, first or second week of February, and then Joe Willett goes down. Guimaraes goes down. Whatever. Colin Wilson's ruled out for the rest of the season, which is never off the cards, really.
Right.
All that, then they can't replace those people. That could sputter their title hopes.
Well, especially because the other striker is still currently out, the one that they got in the transfer window. The real tall, lanky guy. God, he already scored a few goals for him. He came from the Spanish league. Isaac.
Oh, Isaac. Yeah,
Isaac,
Swedish guy. Yeah.
Isaac.
Yeah, you're right. I forgot about him.
So
that'll be like a new signing when he gets healthy.
Yeah,
again.
if you lose Colin Wilson and he's healthy, okay.
No, you're fine. Yeah.
Again, Saint Maximin gets healthy. Okay, you got him again.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. So it all depends on what the physios do down in their room. But if they can have a sustained run with no real injuries, through till March, I think they might. I think the entire top four is going to be pulling away from kind of Chelsea, Tottenham, that kind of situation because they're so inconsistent. I mean, we'll come on to it obviously, but Chelsea's win was their first in 4 games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like this is going to be a very difficult hole to get themselves dug out of.
I think 1, 2, and 3 are kind of decided and safe. Mm-hmm. I really do. I mean, unless something really tragic happens.
I'm leaning towards that with Newcastle. Like
Yeah.
I said, I want to see if we get to the end of February and they still have their squad intact.
Yeah.
If they do, good to go.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
they'll be fine.
Moving on, Brighton dominate, but the Saints certainly assisted themselves in their own demise. That's for damn sure.
You know what? Let me just briefly find it.
Okay.
It will take me 2 seconds. Because
Please do.
His name is easy. Here it goes. I got a few text messages.
Okay.
Here was the from
Ken?
From Kenny
In Narnia.
making fun of Mark,
Yes.
right? Which was the last time we checked in with Ken.
Right.
Tuesday, December 20th, he sent me this. If you could sum up Southampton Football Club in one singular video, this would be it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that was last week. And then Monday at 10:40, this is bleak.
Not wrong.
Then he sent me the melty face emoji. And then I just said LOL. Different manager, same shit, no quality. I said, they got to spend some money. He responded, I don't think they have enough. We got to sell Ward-Prowse. And now we won't get nearly as much as we could have. I said, yeah, it's definitely fundraiser time. The ownership won't do it, though. And he goes, championship corner!
Why? Because what happened to him? Oh, damn, I don't have it up. See, I suck. Hold on, let me try this again. Me sucking at production. Here we go. Ready?
Yeah.
Get my way downtown, walking fast. I'm a seagull. Go fuck yourself.
There we go. I remembered to turn it up. I'm going to leave in all the fuck ups. I am normalizing this and I'm compressing it. I'm putting it out there. So if you fuck up or you say too many ahs or so's, or you, as you like to do, say the same thing 5 times in a row, fucking go for it. It's not getting edited out tonight.
He sent me a screenshot of the stat sheet from the Premier League app, which I have. Possession, Brighton, 70.7%.
I was going to say, I see a big fucking green arrow on it that he probably put in.
This is without Alexis McAllister, right? This is at halftime, mind you, right?
Right.
And without arguably their best player of the season. 70.7% possession, 29.3 if you do math at home. Shots on target were equal, though. Southampton actually had more shots overall than Brighton did, 5-3. But even shots on target, 2-2. Touches, Southampton, 194 to Brighton's 376. And passes, Brighton only managed 120 passes in the first half of a football match.
Brighton or Southampton?
I'm sorry, Southampton. Only managed 120 passes. Kevin De Bruyne had that today against Leeds, who are much more energetic.
I mean, you get 50 between your two center backs in like 10 minutes. They just sit there and pass it back and forth between each other.
That is abysmal.
Keeper should have absolutely had that first one. Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah. So let's get to the actual football. You're absolutely right. One of the 2 decent Southampton players that exist, Bazunu, the other obviously being James Ward-Prowse, should have done better with the first shot he faced, for real, which was on 14 minutes. But he just simply didn't. And then Perraud, how soft can you be? Now, Bazunu may have gotten a touch to it. I'd still be disappointed in myself if I gave that goal up.
Yeah.
That own goal.
Yeah.
That is pitiful.
Yeah.
You've got to be able to sort your feet out, man.
Yeah, you gotta be able to get the ball away.
And I'm some schmuck from Baltimore.
Right.
You're a professional footballer.
Use your body and your chest and turn and knock it away. Use your head. Use anything. Get it away.
He just hacked at it and put it into his own net.
Yeah, it was terrible.
I don't know what you're doing. Sully March had a screamer.
That's exactly what I was about to get to here. Sully March becoming the player we've all been kind of waiting for him to become. He is really looking good this season, and that goal, oh my God.
But that was the only goal Brent deserved.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, the other 2 were literally Southampton fuck-ups.
Yep. And then we have our boy Ward-Prowse assisting himself on a set-piece play.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, missed the penalty. It bounces back to him and he heads it in.
Had it saved. Yeah,
we'll call it a set piece. I mean, that's what he does. He's a set piece specialist. But even when he misses, he knows how to score off a set piece.
But Brighton should have been 4-0 up on the hour.
There was a couple.
Well, Matomo headed wide. It was a free header.
Oh yeah, wide open header,
and he fucked up.
Yeah.
So really, it should have been worse than it already was.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really see a situation now where Southampton don't go down.
I was about to ask, what do we make of Southampton? And I'm starting to think they go down. Now, but here's the other thing, too. We'll get on to other teams later. This is a team that I think it won't kill them if they go down.
No, it never does.
They got a ton of young players. Those young players will get better.
But they have nothing coming through their academy at the moment.
Right. Well, which is a
problem.
You get down to the championship and you start fucking betting some
guys.
Well,
hopefully, yeah. But the other thing, too, real quick, is Sanchez. For Brighton, the goalkeeper. Why is he wasting his time with that pathetic-ass scuffle he had?
Why? Yeah.
What a terrible little shove.
It was a 50-50 ball. Che Adams had every right to be there as much as you did, and you fucking collided. Okay, get over it.
Also, let me tell you something. If you're going to come like that to a Scottish international. It's like bringing a knife to a gunfight.
Yeah, come on. This isn't hard. Let's get into this.
You better
shit.
be fucking strong, you cunt.
Oh, yeah. It's fortunately, I look at Southampton and I go, well, at least there's one team worse than my team. Let's check in at the top of the table as Arsenal continued their reign, and both teams 1 and 2 finished with the same score. Arsenal 3, West Ham 1, Manchester City 3, Leeds 1. It certainly wasn't a storybook start there for Arsenal now, was it, Sammy?
No, that was rough. Well, it was until the referees got involved. Because Bukayo Saka did score within the first 5 minutes of the game, but was adjudged to be offside. I think Arsenal let that particular decision weigh them down a bit. West Ham grew into the game. Yada, yada, yada. We give up a penalty. It's an age-old story that anybody that has casually glanced at Arsenal over the last 10 years has been able to see front and center. The difference is after halftime, Arsenal come out and are phenomenal.
Oh, yeah. Whatever halftime talk Arteta had, they looked fantastic.
West Ham were chasing shadows. You had Odegaard fucking up a shot that fell to Saka. He ended up putting it away again. Then you had... sorry, I lost my place on my notes there.
Martinelli.
Martinelli had the second goal. Yeah, exactly. And then Eddie. What a fucking turn that was. Ball from Odegaard again, I believe. Might have been Xhaka. One of the two. No, Xhaka assisted Martinelli's. Right. It was another ball from Odegaard, which was an intentional pass this time. Excellent, excellent turn by Eddie. Just rolled Robin Koch. And again, great composure. Found the far stick. Just slotted it home, no problem. What you worried about?
Keller, not Koch. The Koch is
it's
Leeds.
Keller. You're right.
The Koch is at Leeds.
Koch is at Leeds.
And the Wang is at Wolves.
Correct.
That's
right. Sorry.
important to remember.
The flaccid defending had me confused. It was Keller. You're right.
You know, it's got to be exactly what you're looking for with Arsenal. Your top three guys on the front line, including the one that's replacing your injured point man, all three score. That's what you asked for.
That was the big thing. And Eddie did have a couple more opportunities. He did link up some play pretty well. But that was the big thing is, can he do it? And then he did it. So if you take all competitions, his last 11 starts, Eddie scored 11 goals. There was one hat trick in there. So he scored 11 goals in a total of, 9 games then?
Yep. Yeah.
In his last 11 starts?
Yeah.
Which is dope. I mean, you can't, what a better backup can you ask for, to be honest?
And you gave him the contract and he's doing his job.
Yep.
That's what's important.
That's the big
there.
thing. So, I'm still in.
Yeah, you know what? That was exactly the kind of game you would normally fuck off if we're looking at past Arsenal.
Especially going behind with 40 minutes on the clock. Like, that's, yeah.
Figure out a way to fuck it off, and you didn't, and you're still top of the table.
That penalty came just before halftime, don't forget.
Which is enough to really sting you. That's enough to really sting you.
Yep.
And... the irons are currently really thin. Are we starting to think Moyes is on thin ice as well?
I don't think so because there's still, with the Europa League stuff that he was doing last season, with what they've got going on now this season, in some of the cup competitions. I still can't believe that he's on thin ice because we have a responsibility. Mm-hmm. Since we don't really have a responsibility, but we should have a responsibility. If we did it before the World Cup, talking about who England should have taken or what have you. Okay, we'll finish the conversation then. Anybody can say, "Oh yeah, they should sack David Moyes." Well, who are you going to replace him with?
Right, precisely.
So all the asshole people on TalkSport, on BT Sport, on ITV, on the BBC and Match of the Day and all that stuff. In England that want, manager sacked or this guy's lost a dressing room or this. Okay, so replace him then. Finish the conversation. Because anybody can go, yeah, fuck that guy. Anybody can say that. That's easy.
Yeah,
that
who
shows
are you
no
hiring?
work. Who are you going to hire? Finish that conversation out. Okay, great. You don't want Declan Rice? Or that was a bad example. You don't want Calvin Phillips in the England team? Who are you going to replace him with?
Yeah.
Who's it going to be?
Well,
Who's the guy? Because if he doesn't go, we're not just going to forget the spot. You have to put somebody there. So who's it going to be?
Well, let's look at 4 of the managerial positions, the 4 that had to get replaced already this season, okay? Wolves have a ton of money. Villa had money, so they could go out and get Lopetegui and Emery, respectively. Southampton and Bournemouth didn't, and they're just kind of, they
had to hire from within.
And it didn't. It's not
working.
Not working at all.
Well, it did for Bournemouth for a little bit, but now it's not. Because again, if you give somebody the job that wants it, they fuck it off.
Well, and also,
the Bournemouth manager should be an interim role all the time, and it should be a hostage situation. They'll fucking win the league.
Well, I mean, as long as they get to play Everton every week, they'd be okay. But unfortunately, they have to play all the other teams in the league, and as we saw, they're not doing very well against the rest of them, are they?
Yeah, that's fair.
City, same story. Come out completely dominating possession, completely owning the game, but they can't get in the back of the net. And Leeds just made it tough for them at the start.
They did. Leeds were a bit more organized than we saw them prior to the World Cup. But again, they kind of resorted to their helter-skelterness and left gaps and left space. And, what the game needed was a goal to open it up a bit, and so we could actually see some less than turgid football.
And Rodri gets
which
it.
Rodri got exactly just before halftime in injury time of the first half.
Which is a fucking dagger when that happens.
Of course. Leeds, again, also very young. They come out after halftime, and City they revert back to type. I mean, if you want to look at something insane, you don't have to go very far, really, because the stats, speak for themselves. Mm-hmm. It's staggering the amount of possession City had. You're looking 69% to 31, 9 shots on target to 1, 26 shots overall to 9, 859 touches to 482, 690 passes to 303. Fuck. Just completely dominate every category. 5 corners to 4. Sorry, 5 corners to 3. We'll come on to that later.
Somebody's bitter.
A little bit. Tackles were about even. Rodri probably should have been shown a card at some point. Oh, he was in the 81st minute. Deserved it a lot earlier than that. But you also had 19 clearances for Leeds versus only 9 for City.
Yeah.
They were just all over him all the time. The how one-sided the offensive statistics are staggering.
Yeah, and it just honestly, what it seemed like it took was they needed to get the goal. Now that if you're going to look at a potential problem for City, is that a lot of teams do this, and some of them occasionally it works, and City doesn't have an answer to it. If they're not able to break, if they're not able to break somebody down, we've seen them play games where they just sit there and pass it around the outside and just not ever go for it because they just kind of expect the defense to open up at some point.
Roll over for us.
Right,
yeah.
Right. So that's the one major problem that I see for City. And when I look at matches, I kind of feel like, okay, I don't feel like Arsenal has that gaff in them. It seems like the manager has them honed in. And while you could very well play exceptionally well against City and lose twice, I still see City losing to somebody stupid.
Yeah.
Where I don't see you losing to somebody stupid. Now, this next match for you is a tough one. Going to Brighton, you like to fuck it off in Brighton.
Hoping Alexis McAllister's not back.
Yeah, so that's what you got to sit there and wait for. Now, the other thing we have to mention, Erling Haaland with 2 goals in 16. They've played 15 matches. So in 15 matches, he has 20 fucking goals already. It's not even the halfway point. He has 20. We have had the league leader in the Premier League score as little as 24 goals in a fucking season.
Yep.
20 already with no signs of slowing down. He ain't going to catch Dixie Dean, but the fucker's going to score like 38, 39 goals this season.
If I could put on my Roy Keane hat for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Can we really trust these stats? Because Stoke aren't in the Premier League. Can he do it on a cold, rainy night in Stoke? We won't be able to tell because they have it all. Basically, he's playing in the tropics.
Well, you do have to wonder that question about, Messi finally winning a World Cup. But could Messi do it in a cold, rainy night in Stoke?
Could Messi do it without the promise of a black robe at the end?
Hold on. Not just a cold, rainy night in Stoke. A cold, rainy Wednesday night in Stoke. Because it's got to be the middle of the week.
It always has to be a Tuesday or a Wednesday. You're right about that.
Got to be the middle of the week.
The rain feels good on a Saturday. It has to be a Tuesday night or a
Even in
Wednesday.
cold-ass Stoke, it feels good on Saturday, huh? How many goals do you think he really ends up with, man?
35, 40 seems the number. He'll go through a streak, I think. I am still waiting for what I was waiting for. I obviously didn't expect no one on this planet to fit into the Premier League so easily.
Yeah.
I guess if you're going to, the City team is probably the team that'd be able to do it, especially when you're that type of forward.
Right. Well,
he
just needs to go do his job.
Receiving that service.
He doesn't have to. It's not like, say, like Rom when he was with Everton had to carry the team. Like, Haaland just got to go get himself open for fucking De Bruyne.
Yeah.
That ain't hard to do.
What I am going to worry about for him, though, is he does, again, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again, he does have a history of muscular injuries. Mm-hmm. And now that we've been through just about half the schedule, which center back decides to be the one that goes, you're not doing this to me again, and 2-foots him in the middle of his thigh, and we don't see him for 2 months? Because that could be the difference.
City does play Everton next, and Tarkovsky is exactly the fucker to do it to him. That's got Tark written all over it.
But that would be the only thing that makes me worried about him not achieving a 40-goal season, honestly, because we're not even at 19 games yet. We're not halfway through. I see him bagging at least 2 more hat tricks this season.
The only other thing that I think can hold that off also would be the Champions League. That at some point if they're really going deep, and Pep realizes 6 points out on Arsenal, fuck it, I don't care anymore. As long as we're still in the Champions League, I want to win the fucking Champions League. You know,
right?
That's always the big overhanging shadow for City.
For City, of course,
definitely that.
But it's also more opportunity again for him to pick up injuries.
Yeah,
right, and. We haven't seen it yet so far. Now, he got a wee bit sick, and he had to come off in the 35th minute or whatever it was in the Champions League game, and then didn't feature at the weekend. We've seen that already once this season. So I hope he doesn't get hurt. I never want to see anybody get hurt. I always say that. I never want to see anybody get hurt. But in terms of putting out a prediction for a goal total, I still am concerned about that happening.
Just put the big lad in.
Problem is, he is the big lad. The big lad's already there.
It is the big lad,
and now we don't have the wee lad anymore. We sold him to Chelsea.
No, they got Alvarez, who did really well in the World Cup. So maybe they'll start it. Watch them suddenly start playing him, and he's then by the end of the season has 15 goals. You're like, how, fuck, how do they keep getting better and better and better?
Exactly. You just gave me an idea to sell Jesus in my other fantasy league.
Okay.
Julian Alvarez.
Yeah.
He's going to see some time now when he gets back, I
think. He probably will.
I like that.
Probably will.
Sneaky, sir.
Rounding out the rest of the league. And, so that happened. Brentford 2, Tottenham 2, Fulham 3, Palace 0. Wolverhampton 2, Everton 1. Liverpool 3, Villa 1, Chelsea 2, Bournemouth 0, Man U 3, Nottingham Forest 0. If you told the Bees they'd only get a point at home to Spurs before the game started, they'd be very happy. I guarantee you they were not happy that they only got a point to Spurs at home, especially when they were up 2-0 and should have been up 3-0.
Yeah, absolutely. Also in my fantasy team, real quick, just as a quick update, I started Janelt. And he drew first blood with a surging run forward from midfield to finish off of his thigh / knee kind of region.
Yeah, how many of those have you scored in your life?
At least 2.
Yeah.
Genius manager here is what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Spurs were boring and predictable in the first half. But more Conte threats. I mean, team talk. Saw them play.
I will kill you.
Saw a bit better of a performance out of Spurs in the second half, which has kind of been the atypical situation for them all season. An instinctive finish saw the Bees go up 2-0, though, on 53 minutes. But the next 20 minutes proved to be too much for Brentford. Little luck on Højbjerg's goal, I think. But Kane had an excellent header. but a deflection took the ball to Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, which he wasn't actually the intended recipient of that pass.
Right.
Now, what he did once he got it was quite composed and excellent. Mm-hmm. But the fortune comes in is he shouldn't have gotten the ball in the first place because I can't remember who it was going down the right, wasn't passing him the ball. They were trying to get it to Kane, and the defender deflected it kind of with his trail leg, and it fell to Højbjerg. So that's unfortunate. Now, what I really want to talk about is Mbeumo's worst dive of the season contender.
Yeah, I'd agree.
That wasn't even fucking close. That he surges into the box, plays a 1-2, right? So he passes the ball, runs into the box, gets the pass back. Touch was a little heavy. I think he still could have got there, but he didn't even attempt to. He was about 3 feet to the left of Hugo Lloris, not Hugo Lloris, Fraser Forrester, and decided to just throw himself to the ground while spreading his legs and trying to hit Forrester while he was already in the air.
It was terrible.
It is a little wry smile as he got up. One of the funniest, stupid things I've ever seen in my life.
Got that yellow card and went, yeah, I probably deserved that one.
Worst dive of the season.
It was really fucking
contender.
bad.
I'm sure there'll be
really bad.
Salah's got one in him.
I'll tell you what, they can't. Yeah, but Salah won't get a yellow card for it. He'll get a penalty. That's how it normally works out for the Reds, typically.
Okay. You say so.
Spurs can't keep doing this, man.
I think Conte's on thin ice more so than Moyes.
I think
for two reasons. I think Spurs are a more attractive destination for someone, so they could pry somebody away from the club they're at.
Yeah.
I don't think West Ham could.
No.
They're going to have somebody that's already available. The players are better at Spurs, so it's going to be just a more attractive job as a whole. It's a bigger club at this stage in their history, even though West Ham traditionally are a bigger club.
Yeah. That's the thing that's really kind of rubbing me wrong with Spurs. Their last 3 hires with Mourinho, with Nuno, and then now with Conte, is they keep hiring these like overly defensive-minded guys while they have an attacking force that's fucking one of the best in the Prem, arguably one of the best in Europe.
Yeah.
And they just seem to keep hiring a manager that doesn't use it at all.
It almost seems like the first half is for Conte. The second half, Kane gets out on the field. They do it for 5 minutes, and then he goes, "Full odds. Let's do something else." Since he can't breathe out of his nose.
Nice mouth breather there. Well done. Well done.
But yeah, that's what I see. I mean, it's almost like, all right, we'll do what the manager wants for a half, and then we'll go out and do what the fuck we want. Mm-hmm. And what they want is what's keeping them in games. And that's playing some free-flowing football.
What an absolute clusterfuck of a nightmare for fucking Palace.
That was brilliant. As one of my arch nemesis supports this club, I couldn't do anything but cry laughing
just
at their fortunes.
Was it Tompkins that got the stupid yellow in the first half and then got the second yellow, which ended up being the second send-off to... You don't normally see this. Normally, you look at the screen and there's a little score caption of and there's a little red line that means there's someone got a red card. There's 2 red cards just sticking out of the top by where it says cry. Oh, yeah. Because that's exactly what their fucking supporters did, was fucking cry. Because that was comically bad.
So, with the full complement of 11 players, Palace weren't even that good anyway. They had really that one chance where IU hit the bar at the beginning. Other than that, it was a bad day at the office.
And they're in their office.
I know.
They were at Selhurst Park. I mean... This is one of those, I hate to see what the training ground was like today.
Oh, yeah.
And tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Vieira ran them hard.
Oh, yeah, he did. Well, Vieira is like that old Russell Peters bit when he was talking about his parents and his white friend that would talk to his mom any old type of way, and then he tried it when he went home to his Indian parents. Mm-hmm. Oh, somebody going to get a hurt real bad. 100%.
Absolutely.
Tyreek Mitchell made the first rash challenge, obviously. Over the ball, stud showing, straight red. It was not a good tackle. Actually, well done to the referee for seeing it in real time and getting the decision right, in my opinion.
Vieira is going to line up his entire squad today and just start at one end and skull fuck the entire way down.
Oh, yeah.
They just, in the eyes, not in the mouth, in the eyes. He's going to poke him in both the eyes with his fucking rod.
He's going to Castle Grayskull all of those. If you're not sure what a Castle Grayskull is, Google it. I had to do that one night during poker. It was funny. Anyway, now it should be said, I do want to just, give Fulham a little credit. Bobby Cordova-Reid did score before any of the sending offs happened.
And that was
so
also
Fulham
a
were
great,
up 1-0.
Great pass from Mitro, too.
Phenomenal. That's normally the ball he's getting served.
That man has not slowed down since his year in the championship the year prior, and what he's been doing in the Prem. He's put the ego aside, and he is playing great fucking ball.
Is it the ego? I mean, he is Serbian.
Yeah.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug. That's all I'm saying. Somebody drug test that man. That's all I'm saying. Allegedly.
Fucking brilliant.
Sattery.
Turning the freaking frogs gay.
Let me say it slow. Frogs.
Let me say it slow. Serbia.
Cocaine. I mean, they do call it the Mexico of Europe. Sorry, the Colombia of Europe. They don't. But yeah, no, correct decision on Tyreek Mitchell. Should have been sent off. James Tompkins, though, also should be noted, first start for a year. So obviously you want to make sure your name is kept long in the manager's mind. He showed up. I stopped playing. Now he's playing me out of necessity. Got to remind him I'm still here and can do it.
Yeah.
No, you can't. You can't. You just booked your first train out of there to a physical at a different club. Probably in League One.
In two dumb yellows. The first one, like early on, just a dumb yellow. And then the second one, it's like you grab hold of him, you throw your arms around him, you grab a fistful of jersey right in front of the ref. We say this time and time again.
Don't give the ref a decision to make.
Don't give him a fucking decision to make. You make him make that decision. And you are, frankly, a guy who hasn't played in a fucking year.
Yep.
Now
the second
you
yellow,
know who it is. You know who it was. If that's a, and I hate to go back to a red, but I mean it's a perfect example. That's a Virgil van Dijk. Probably not a second yellow. Probably not. That's it's a Laporte. It's a Cancelo. Probably not.
It was soft at best. But there was no actual situation that he was involved in that I saw for him to stick his arms up like that.
He didn't need to.
That's what I'm saying. I think
it wasn't like it changed play at all. He just did it to be a dick. And it's like, okay, well.
Exactly that. I think it was on purpose.
Dicks get special prizes. Red card. Bye.
Yeah, 100%. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Precisely. And, like we said, give it up to Fulham. Fulham did exactly what they needed to do, which was just get it done. And they did that.
They took full advantage of being two men up. Tim Ream started him in my fantasy team.
Jesus,
the old volley.
Oh, when we get into injury time, you're gonna have a whole lot to say about your fantasy team, aren't you?
Yeah.
Should one want to find injury time? How do they go about doing that?
Very easy. It's www.patreon.com/DUFootballShow. Just sign up to our one sweet $5 tier. If you'd like to join the bidding war, go for it. If you don't, that's cool too.
Hey, Auburn, that's what we call being a whore. Right there. What Mr. Graham just did, that was a perfect plug.
Just showed my legs.
He just got down on his knees and
trying to get a taxi.
Made a face like a donut is what he did.
You think I haven't seen that face before?
Oh, Sam, he's back here on the East Coast. I thought his cheeks looked a little rosy. Has he been down by the docks?
Oh, probably. Probably. The sailors like that, don't they? Okay. Well, speaking of what the sailors like and people getting their face fucked, let's move on to my team, Everton Football Club.
Oh, another team by the docks.
Oh.
Their new stadium's actually going to be right on the docks, so you can get face fucked all the time.
It's going to be a beautiful championship stadium, I'll tell you.
What I want to know
okay.
is will you guys switch your strip from all blue?
Mm-hmm.
Well, blue, white, blue. Are you going to switch that strip to pink polka dots? Because the boys like that.
You know, it's not out of the realm of possibility, my friend. It is not out of the realm of possibility.
Auburn, you remember Lewis Black, the comedian?
Oh, yeah.
Wear a pink polka dotted dress, rouge on the cheeks, because the boys like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's going to be...
Loves to say, fuck!
Yeah, that's the guy.
Yeah, exactly that
It's going to
guy.
be Sam's team next season.
Yeah, it is going to be my team next season. So I'm going to stay away from all the X's and O's. I'm going to kind of paraphrase. Honestly, plug the American Toffee podcast, because our boy Ryan, who likes to wax poetically perfectly about this match, talking about very distinct missed opportunities by Everton.
Yep.
Playing people in their wrong position, a la Dwight McNeil, who is all left foot, no right foot. Why do you want to put him on the left-hand side of the field, where all he can do then is dribble to the corner? Why don't you put him
on like Arsenal do with Saka?
Why don't you put him on the right side and let him go to goal? The mistakes that were made by Anthony Gordon, what are the options off of the bench? And then more importantly, the very final bit of the game, Everton, let's face it, they dominated all the stats. They were far and away the better side. Now, they didn't deserve to win because they didn't put away chances, and they had at least 3 clear-cut.
Oh, yeah, easy.
Jesus, it's got to go in the back of the fucking net, and it didn't kind of situations. But the point that they brought up that was the best point that I heard is there they are in extra time, and they're passing the ball around in the back because Wolves have decided to reserve themselves all the way to the back end of the field, and they're just going to sit there and see it out. The Everton fans start booing because they want the ball hoisted upfield. Someone hoists the ball upfield, they're caught out of position, counterattack goal with 30 fucking seconds left. That is a direct effect of the fan base, as great as they were to help hoist them to the victory, to staying up last season. That is a direct result of hoisting them right into defeat and allowing somebody to get a snatch and grab. I mean, there was no reason to hoist the ball up the pitch. You keep passing it around, get it out to somebody wide, let them try to cut in. But if they're packing all 11 within 20 yards of the fucking...
Yeah.
Why? Oh, and then, shocker, our guys are caught up pitch, and then the fast guy is who they kick it to. Oh, my God. Let's be surprised by that.
Tactical genius. Yeah.
And, I mean, they were playing an absolutely god-awful Wolverhampton team. That was not a good end. While Everton looked improved. They looked like they did some work over the 6 weeks. Don't score fucking goals. It doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Yeah, keeping you awake over there, stud.
Yeah, I stayed up till 3 a.m, which is exactly when I fell asleep watching the highlights.
I heard.
Everton had a ton of chances to take the lead, which they did, and then add to it, which they didn't do.
Right.
They had a ton of chances to take the lead again, and didn't.
Yeah.
And then add to that, and didn't.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it was lack of quality or if Jose Sa was just that good, because he did have a fair few saves. I venture to think it's a mix of both, because Anthony Gordon in particular had 3 chances he put wide.
Well, he had
forced Sa to 1 save.
He had the one where Sa made the save back across his body, where even though it was onto his weaker foot, he's put it away with his left foot before. Why not just run onto it and literally just lift it right in your body's running in that direction?
Anyway,
and he decided to try to cut it back, which was exactly where Sa was.
Right.
And I mean, it was a good save by Sa, and I'm not taking anything away from that, but a smarter person puts that away easily.
Oh, yeah.
Because Sa's in no man's land. You just put it to where he could get to it.
Correct.
That was it.
100%. For the winner, though, from Wolves, I do feel like a keeper with a normal limb aptitude would have been able to save that.
Okay. I hear you, T-Rex arms. Normal limb aptitude. I'm not making that the title, despite the fact that it's a pretty good title.
I'm trying to find new ways of saying the same jokes.
Yes. That's fair enough. So
Tired of going short arms.
but that does play. Hell, I even go, haha, short arms. Mel, the loveliness that my wife is, the niece and nephew are very into dinosaurs. And she got her hands on a T-Rex, and she told Abby the T-Rex's name was Jordan Pickford.
Nice.
And I finally said, she goes, where's Jordan Pickford? I don't know. I was like, tell her to stop calling it Jordan Pickford. Tell her to stop making fun of our goalie, right? And she goes, stop making fun of our goalie. I'm like, yeah, that's it, Abby. Well done. About 8 weeks ago, I said there were 5 teams worse than us. And then we lost to Leicester. So then there was 4 teams worse than us. And then we lost to Bournemouth twice. And now I say there's 3 teams worse than us. Well, then we just lost to Wolves. It is paramount to Everton. They have to make some moves in the January transfer window. They need another striker. They need, because who knows with Calvert-Lewin.
They need a striker.
And
because Calvert-Lewin is like Callum Wilson.
Well, and I don't blame Mopé. There's no one getting him the ball. What is he supposed to fucking do? Like, it's a striker's job is to get open. He's trying to get open. Nobody's fucking getting him the ball.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he could have done better with that ball that he got on the fast break at the midfield line, but still, like, no one's getting him the fucking ball. Oh, and let's take the guy with the left foot and make him dribble into the corner and not get off a cross. You know, like, let's have our other 2 wingers and Gray and Gordon play with the ball too much. They dribble too much. They don't do the job they need to do, which is get the ball to the fucking striker. Like, we need major fixes. And if we don't get them, I'm starting to, as I take my shot on my Lord, I am starting to fear there aren't 3 teams worse than us. I'm getting very nervous about that. For last year, I was bullish and I was perfectly fine. I thought we were going to be okay.
Worried this year, huh?
Talk to me at the end of January. But as of right now, genuinely nervous. And like you said, fire Frank. Well, what the fuck's that going to do? If we were going to fire Frank, we should have fired Frank back in fucking right before the World Cup. Like, it's not doing us any good at all. So, up the fucking toffees, I guess. God, I hate that shit.
Yeah, you've gotten used to it this season.
No, I poured myself a slightly larger shot because I've gotten used to it.
Nice.
The pains I do for this craft.
For this job, right?
So the scoreline covers up a lot of things for Liverpool. Liverpool won, and they won 3-1, which you normally say is convincing. That was not a convincing win. Not at all, I didn't think. I thought Villa played them pretty tough. And I also, and you're looking at me with a little bit of disagreement, I think their midfield looks haggard right now.
It's not disagreement, because I don't disagree with you. But everything you said right then, each sentence that you said could be used to describe the collision between Tyrone Mings and Robin Olsen.
Oh, that was brilliant. Well done. Well done.
Which is, for me, how the game started. Nothing happened until that happened.
Yeah, and you're like,
then,
whoa!
Holy shit! And then after that, everything you said is also true about the game.
Yeah. Villa threw punches. They went at them, and that was surprising because I figured with an Unai Emery side, you'd lock it down and just try to keep them out. But they...
Oh, yeah, and they had chances.
Yeah.
But it's the moments of magic, right? It's the outside of the boot from Alexander-Arnold to Robertson, who one touch outside of the boot across to Mo Salah. Darwin Nunez missed 9 chances, probably, or so.
I was about to mention him, but also, real quick, allow me to say this, Mr. Graham, and I'm going to be the one to say this. Andy Robertson is now the all-time assist leader in the Premier League history.
Yeah.
So now...
And he's only 26.
So now, when Liverpool fans start going off
We're
about
27.
about him being the best left back, Arsenal, stop yelling at me. Yell at them.
Yeah, right. No shit. I mean, what a good goal it was, though. Everyone was pretty much stunned. I mean, it was a mediocre clearance, but it was a nothing position. And Alexander Arnold plays the pass that no one can see.
Yep.
You know, and it turned into fruition. But Villa had a fair few chances despite that quality finish. Couldn't capitalize. Van Dijk scored, which was a deflected strike, but it was a decent strike. I mean, he caught a hold of it.
Right.
The funny bit of that, though, was the entire time in the build-up from that corner, Buendia, the smallest man on the pitch, who comes up to Virgil van Dijk's nipples, was marking him and asking, why the fuck am I marking him?
Right.
Someone help me.
Right. Like, why am I covering this guy?
Big surprise. Van Dijk lost him. Whether it be a wee arm or a little push or what have you.
I like to think it's the old holding the forehead as he swings the arms and can't reach him kind of situation.
And as soon as Salah lays that ball off and Van Dijk strikes it, dare I say, Tim Ream-esque. Probably learned it from him at the World Cup, to be honest. Buendia just throws his arms up and goes, well, not my fault.
Yep.
Fuckers. Which was absolutely brilliant. He really was. He was screaming for help the entire time, which just makes it super funny. And then Douglas Luiz put a ball like Mitro's ball, but better than Mitro's ball on the head of Ollie Watkins. And Ollie Watkins had a header that was better than Bobby Cordova-Reed's header. It was fantastic. It was absolutely fucking fantastic.
Watkins scoring is very important. Him starting to get back into form.
Good. Yeah. But it was brilliant. He had to climb for it, got high up, timed it well, placed it in the far corner. I mean, it was excellent. It was very well done. I'm still wondering how many chances Darwin Nunez wants to score a damn goal. But one of his misguided touches throughout that game did produce the tenaciousness to help him center the ball and create the third, which was a first Premier League goal, actually quite composed, from 18-year-old Spanish youth international, Stefan Basetic. Basetic.
It was a great goal. It really was.
It was excellent. It was a good finish, good composure. He didn't rush it. He took that touch in the box, got himself some space, and then found a wee nutmeg.
Liverpool's going to need to find some more midfield.
100%.
Because
they're exhausted.
They keep relying on Jordan Henderson. And, I mean, Henderson.
The ball he played over the top for Salah.
I mean, Henderson.
Fucking dope.
Henderson's a hell of a player, but it's like when you overuse Milner. This is where Henderson's career is now. Like, you keep putting him out there, he can't keep up. And Fabinho's
and it creates gaps.
Fabinho's looking a little haggard. Silva's looking a little haggard. Like, they really, really need to address their midfield, because if they want to be in contention for the trophies, right, the big trophies, those guys are going to give you a couple of games in a row, but can they give you the rest of this season? You need to use them sparingly, and you can tell Klopp knows he's running out of time with these guys. You could definitely tell that.
Oh, yeah, 100%. The squad needs a refresh.
Yeah. Now, let's talk a little bit about the next two. I kind of want to talk about in the same breath, because honestly, they both kind of went the same way. Man U's was more of a dominant performance than Chelsea's, but Chelsea was never in doubt. Chelsea easily had that game going for them.
With my knuckle.
And so I know. And so did United. They completely dominated as well. But in these instances for both of them, they were playing probably the two worst fucking teams in the league.
100%.
So it's
one of them definitely.
Okay, so great. They win 2-0 and 3-0 respectively. But you kind of go, well, that's what you're supposed to do, right? Isn't that what you're supposed to win?
Yeah,
like,
you're absolutely supposed to win.
I'm going to be more impressed when they beat like a Brighton or a Newcastle,
Or they do this game and do it 6-0.
Yeah.
They put them to the sword, which they did not do.
Now, I think Wayne Hennessy in the replacement for Dean Henderson, made a couple of really big saves. I think the United game could have honestly been much worse.
But that being said, like how can you get yourself up for it? I mean, that's a fair point. 19 minutes in, you score off of a very simple training ground routine.
Yeah.
One dummy run through the center of the box froze 3 Forest defenders.
Mm-hmm.
It was pitiful. It got Rashford the opening goal.
Right.
First time finish. 3 minutes later, Rashford found Martial for the second goal.
Man.
So I was like, okay, now what? Like, who cares? This is a fucking stroll in the park. The difference between United and City is City would have went on this game 9-0, which is what people have beat Southampton before twice.
Had to work that one in for Kenny, didn't you?
Just to pile it on, salt in the wound, man.
So let's real quick for Chelsea, there's really not much to say. It's show this to me against a team that's good.
I thought Pulisic should have had a penalty.
Yeah.
First, so I thought it should have been probably worse than this.
I did find that interesting that they said, well, there wasn't much in the penalty, there wasn't much in it, but if you look at the replay, much like from last year, Brentford on Solomon Rondon, where like his jersey was literally over his head, you're like, that's a handful of jersey clear as day. On Pulisic. Like, it was clearly a handful of, like, it's a fucking penalty. Like,
it's a definite penalty.
And but for the Cherries, you can't play Everton every week.
No, but they did. So I don't think their manager set them up for success, Gary O'Neill.
Mm-hmm.
I think they had a bad shape to begin with, and they could not get a foothold in the game because they're not good enough to play that way.
Right.
They then changed their shape kind of late in the first half. They saw the first half out, okay from that point forward. And in the second half, they looked a little bit better and caused a couple of problems here or there. But ultimately, they just don't have the quality.
Yeah,
I mean, we saw it at the World Cup. Kiefer Moore's not that good.
No.
He's a big lad. And in the Premier League, put the big lad up front doesn't really work all the time.
No, does not work at all. Typically,
that died with Peter Crouch. It really did.
It'll occasionally get you a last-second goal on a corner, but it really won't help you ultimately.
No, we saw it with Weghorst at Burnley. Did not work in the Premier League. Worked at the World Cup, sure. I argue, which is why a lot of players think the Champions League is more prestigious than the World Cup now. Because you can get your club team can go out and buy the best left back in the world. You're stuck with a left back that is Argentinian. Or that is, whatever.
True.
So you could have not the best left back in the country could be the 50th best left back in the world. Right? If you does that make sense?
Very fair, absolutely.
So if you're running in that sort of situation, or center back or whoever, in international football, while yes, it is top class, and that's great, teams tend to play a bit more turgid in general, blah, 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 blah. Throw the big lad on works. In the technical savviness of the Premier League, it does not. And you saw that here. I mean, Kiefer Moore did nothing in this game.
Absolutely nothing. Now,
it was a fairly easy day out at the park for Koulibaly and Thiago Silva, although he maybe should have been sent off also.
So now moving from Chelsea, Bournemouth to Man U and Forest here. With United, it looks like they were relieved to not have the shadow of CR7 lurking over them. They looked a lot freer.
They were definitely playing without the shackles on. I mean, this looked like the day after they fired Mourinho.
Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be good. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be a Champions League team. They just look relieved. Now that means, fuck you, Rashford and Martial. Start fucking producing. Like, really, start fucking producing.
I'm really upset that Yates' goal was chalked off for an unintentional touch on Willy Bali. Because had that gone in, it would have been 2-1.
Game would have been much different.
Game would have been much different, I think. The nerves would have set in at United. A little bit of panic here or there. But instead, it was chalked off for offsides. And then you have Bruno's I think it was Bruno that passed it out to Fred that found him in space. And fair to him, we give him a lot of shit. And he did it left-footed, which he shouldn't have done. Should have been right-footed. But found that far right post from the left side. And Wayne Hennessy really had no chance. And that finished out United's goals.
Forest is sinking. They're sinking.
Oh, they've been sinking.
Yeah,
They're
but
done. The Forest are cooked.
I'm tend to agree. The only good thing is you got a lot of assets you can fucking sell. That's about the only thing they have going for them.
Nottingham Forest are as fucked as if that forest fire were in California right now.
Sure money.
All right, I'm not putting it into audition because I don't know how to do that on this board. So when you decide we're going to call Pat, I'm going to call him live. So,
all right,
production. Go ahead.
I'm glad I said. Have you seen the Facebook post about this episode?
No.
Good.
You're talking about me in production? Thanks.
I'm talking about you being old now.
I think I'm doing a pretty...
And how all these techno things don't know what they're doing.
I think I've been doing a stellar job. Thank you very much.
Old man yelling at the clouds over there.
Driving a bus, keeping you in line. Look at this. The show's only an hour 10, so we've done a pretty good job.
It's roast week. I can say what I want about you with no repercussions.
Go for it. Well, what the fuck is this segment then, dumbass?
So this is the segment where, if you let me speak, please. This is the segment in which we make bets to better inform you of your bets. Which, if you can't sense the sarcasm in that, you are fucking blind, deaf, and dumb. So I'm down now. What is it? Week 16? Yeah. $1,500 because of all of my
to hit a bet.
Convoluted shit. So my cup of losers, just to get this out of the way real fast, is fucking toffees again. Fuck.
Stop
because
picking on my team.
Are the ones that screwed me.
I blame you, Jan, is what I've got for mine. So
there you go. That's blame her for a lot of things.
Right there. In the Dort Spirek Cup of Losers. So there we are.
Per usual, we'll finish up with my stuff. Mm-hmm. So, Sammy, if you would, why don't you tell us what you got going on there for your bet this week?
Alrighty. So, I missed as Palace imploded to Fulham, and I am now down $768. Feeling a little dyslexic, my old ass.
Big Sam's Lock of the Week.
Graham, did you know that 14.28571 of the time? Hey, Auburn. It works 100% of the time. Cha-ching! 2 more than you've got, Graham. 2 more than you've got.
I'll take those odds all day.
Atta boy. I
mean, it's
love
better
it.
than 0, which is where I'm sitting. So, yeah, I mean, I'd take that too.
I'm taking a 3-game parlay. I'm going to take Newcastle, Palace against my better judgment, and United to defeat Leeds, Bournemouth, and Wolves, respectively, at plus 594.
All right. That's not so bad, actually. I kind of like that. Who are you playing? Your boys?
Our ball, we're playing City. We're getting worked.
Are you getting fucked? Yeah.
We're getting proper fucked.
Yeah, but that's all right. The other 2 get you the odds. That's all right.
All right, cool.
There you go.
We're calling Pat right now.
Yeah. I'm trying to fill. That was me being clever.
Yeah. There we go. It's ringing.
They can hear that.
Yeah, I know. I want them to hear that. I told you we're putting it right in like this. So
is that what you told your first girlfriend?
Yeah, pretty much. That's exactly what I told her.
We're putting it in like this.
Yeah.
I hope we get his voicemail. Can we leave him a fucked up voicemail?
This is Pat Henready. Please leave a message.
I have to make sure I edit that out right quick because I'm not going to leave his last name in there. So, boo-boo-doom.
Yes, mark the time. It's been around.
Patty, how you doing, brother man? Oh, hold on. I got to turn you up a little bit. Can you hear me, Pat? Hello, Pat. Oh, let's do this. I know what the problem is. Production. All right. Hey, Pat, can you hear me?
I can.
Love it.
There he is.
All right. Well, let me hit this, and then I'm going to go ahead and figure out all the timelines that I need to worry about, okay?
All right.
Now, it's time for our degenerate gambling friend Pat's Pick of the Week.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, I'm in a very bad mood, and I'll tell you why after you tell us what you got going on. How'd you fare last time out?
I lost. I think it was 2 draws, or it didn't matter. It was over by Saturday morning. Or, I'm sorry, Monday morning.
There you go.
I'm so confused at what day of the week it is.
Yeah, see, Sam, Sam likes to bitch and moan about all the work he has to do, and then he forgets that all the bullshit he does, someone like you has to move those fucking 100 cases for his ass.
Pick it up, put it down. Come on.
Yeah, especially on them breakthrough trucks, man. I look at the back of them trucks. I'm happy I don't work for them, man. They're loaded all the way to the back and to the top.
Because we have brands.
Oh,
Yeah, and you're
damn.
about to pick up Sazerac too.
All right, just don't let the cat out of the bag. Maybe bleep that.
Yeah, we're gonna
Till
bleep
it's
that
announced.
One. Yeah.
Oh, I guess that's not officially out there. Well,
Nope,
all right.
sure isn't.
Okay, well, it's
Sam's
just,
fixing it.
of course-
Sam's fixing it. Don't worry. What's your bet this
Yeah.
week? And then I got a vent to you.
Okay, so I'm down 600, and this week I'm gonna take a 3-way parlay. I'll take Arsenal over Brighton, Chelsea over Forest, and Tottenham over Villa for a payout at 580.
All right, there you go.
Yeah,
Not
pretty
too bad.
simple. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a pretty simple little bet. You want to hear
Yeah.
what happened? You want to hear what happened to me?
Sure, go for it.
Real money, okay, on Points Bet, that lovely application. I had a 7-way parlay, okay.
Uh-huh.
I had City to win, Obvi. Well, I had City to cover the spread, minus a goal and a half, right? So win by 2 or more. That hit because they won 3-1. I had over 3.5 goals in a game. There were 4, 3-1, obviously. That part hit, right? 2 for 2. Moving down the line, I had Erling
Only
Haaland.
5 more to go.
What?
Yeah,
Only 5 more to go.
Yeah. I had Erling Haaland to score 2 goals or more, which he did. Bang. 3 for 3. I had Kevin De Bruyne to have 1 shot on target or more. Bang. 4 for 4. Got it. 5th leg of the 7. I had Kevin De Bruyne to have 55 passes or more in the game. He did. Boom. 5 for 5. Sam's feeling froggy.
Mm-hmm.
I had Erling Haaland to have 2 shots on goal, which he obviously did because he scored 2 goals. Boom. 6 for 6. Total corners in the game, over 8.5. You know how many corners there were, Pat?
Do not 7. I'm going to take a wild guess.
8. There were 8. I had over 8.5.
Oh.
The payout would have been on a $20 bet, $364.
Does that app offer a cash out at all?
It did not at the time that I saw it because it was already concluded because I was working really hard selling in cases for people like you to deliver.
Yeah.
But then, so I have the SiriusXM app on my phone because my car is not capable for SiriusXM for some reason, even though it was made last year. The app pauses when you get out of the car, Pat, if you didn't know that. I go into my last store as I'm listening to the Manchester City Leeds United game. I go in and do my final order. Come outside, call Sam, let him know I'm about to leave. The car connects to Bluetooth. We get off the phone. I immediately call my mother to check on her because she's not feeling well. Hang up with her, immediately call my wife, let her know what's going on. Hang up with her, pump some gas. Turn the car back on. The SiriusXM app picks up the game where I left off when I walked into my last account.
Okay.
The 2 announcers on TalkSport, which SiriusXM streams or whatever for their purposes, they use the TalkSport feed. Is I guess what I was trying to say. Tom Rennie is one of the announcers, and I don't remember who was on color, but he said, Tom Rennie says, well, why is he giving a goal kick there? The ball clearly went off Tanganga out the back. He clearly headed it over the line for a corner. Now, Stuart Atwell couldn't see it, but the linesman had a clear view. So, Pat, I was right, and the fucking referee fucked me. The official stats say 8 corners. There were 9. But the official stats say 8 because the referee didn't give the corner, which means your boy lost $20
Yeah.
instead of
and
making
you have a right to bet.
$364.
Yeah, you definitely, well,
Or $346,
they're never
whatever it was.
they're definitely never going to give you that money.
No, but
no,
guess what I'm doing? I'm setting up a football Twitter account, and I'm going to find the linesman, and I'm going to make his life a living hell.
Yeah, good. Yeah, because I'm sure there's a lot of referees and umps and linesmen that are on Twitter because that's smart.
Guess who's getting doxxed? Somebody's getting a Breckie Domino's pizza.
Heard.
Okay? I'm going to make his life a living hell. Unless he sends me half of the money. Then I'll stop.
Yeah, because that's legal and ethical. Definitely going to happen.
JK, Saturday. Yeah? All right, man. Well, thank you for your time. I just wanted to vent, and I wanted you to hear it because you would understand better than anyone.
Oh, I know the feeling, bro.
One fucking corner, Pat, that happened that wasn't given.
That happened.
Yep,
Yeah.
it happened. All right.
All right.
Thanks, buddy. You have a happy new year. We appreciate you.
You too.
Thank you for all your contributions this year. You've been
All right.
invigorating, to say the least.
So does Sam know how to beep what I said, or is that just going to go through?
He'll figure it out.
I got it covered. I know how to edit. We're okay.
Okay.
All right, bro. Thank you.
All right.
All right, man.
All right,
I'll
we'll
talk
holler
to
at you
you
later.
next Monday.
Yep.
Yeah.
Next Monday.
Next Monday.
All right. Sounds good. Talk to you then.
All right, bud.
All right.
So for my bet this week, to cover all of those losses, I've actually got only a 2-leg parlay, but a very simple and very specific one.
Okay.
Okay. Liverpool versus Leicester. No winner. I'm not choosing a winner.
Okay.
I'm choosing over 2.5 goals in a game.
Okay.
Okay. But Trent Alexander-Arnold to score from outside the box.
All right.
Yeah. Plus 1,800. Because Leicester are so bad, there's got to be at least 3 free kicks within 20 to 25 yards. And Danny Ward's so bad, Trent Alexander-Arnold should score.
Fair enough. Fair
It
enough.
sounds crazy, but is it? I don't think so.
No, it's not that crazy.
Nope. And I'll be in the positive should that hit on a $100 bet.
You know, that's crazy. But you know what's not crazy? Fucking chicken.
I am so excited for this cold read.
It's not a cold read. I wrote it.
Oh, fair.
Kitty hit with her Chelsea win and now sits at 8-7. I went up to visit Kitty in an ironic twist of fate because Mel is on assignment. I decided to give her a match since Lady wasn't around, which was Manchester United traveling to Wolverhampton. Kitty quickly, see, it's not that hard, Mel, pulled out her iPhone to show me a picture of her ringside at the Floyd Mayweather-Conor McGregor fight from a few years back. Remember that?
I do, actually.
Yeah. And you know what? She was ringside with Justin Timberlake.
Wow.
Now, we already know Justin Timberlake loves him some United, but also both the combatants in the ring, also United supporters. So clearly, Kitty is going to be picking United to win. I would even say she's probably putting down an exact score of 3-0 as well.
Wow.
You know?
All right.
We're not going to hold her to that. We are just going to hold her to the win, but you know what? We're going to give her a bonus if she does hit 3-0.
A bonus? Now we're giving bonuses?
Well, the bird's better than us. What can we say? She deserves bonuses. And you know what else you need to do, Mr. Graham?
What's that?
Gamble legally and responsibly.
Championship corner!
I've fallen and I can't get up. Oh no!
That's about as good of a transition as I can do. So
That's
there you
not.
have it.
That's not actually not bad. I'm quite impressed, to be fair. And apparently, I unsubscribed from the championship scores somehow. Last Wednesday, Coventry beat West Brom 1-0. On Monday, the 26th, was the next day of games. Obviously, we've been through that. You had Millwall beating Watford 2-0. Sunderland 2-1 over Blackburn. Implications at the top of the table. West Brom 2-0 over Bristol City. Hoping to get back on track. Hull and Blackpool 1-1. Borough over Wigan 4-1. That's Middlesbrough for those of you keeping track at home. Huddersfield 2-1 over Preston. Rotherham and Stoke played to A 2-2 draw in the warm summer sunshine of Rotherham. Sheffield United 3-1 over Coventry. Cardiff 0-0 with QPR, which I'm sure was a barn burner of a match. Luton Town 2-1 over Norwich City. Again, implications at the top. On Tuesday, you had Reading 2-1 over Swansea and Burnley 3-0 over Birmingham. That leaves your championship table looking like this. Burnley back on top, 50 points.
Very good. Very good.
From 24 games. Your championship table looks pretty much consistent at 24 points minus 4 teams. That's not too shabby. So 50 points for Burnley with a plus 25 goal differential as well. Best in the land. You have Sheffield United second place on 47 points with a plus 20. They are pulling away from the next few. Blackburn in third place on 39 points. Dead even goal differential at 0. Watford are in fourth place plus 6 on 37 points. Norwich in fifth place on 35 points with a plus 4. Millwall in sixth on 35 points as well, but a plus 3. QPR in seventh on 35 with a dead even goal differential as well. Then you go to Reading in eighth, also on 35 points with a minus 6. So a little bit of room. One game could change everything, and a lot of those playoff spots could be up for grabs still. You have Sunderland still in the hunt in ninth place on 34 points with a plus 6. Preston North End in 10th place rather, minus 1 goal differential, but 34 points. So they're still in the mix. Middlesbrough in 11th and Coventry in 12th with a plus 5 and a plus 1 goal differential respectfully, as well as 33 points on the board. Luton Town in 13th with 33 points on the board and a plus 1. So both of those teams also, Coventry and Luton, are 2 of the 4 that have only played 23 games. So they could jump up to 5th should they win their game in hand, all the way from 12th and 13th. Fuck, that's a lot of shit to worry about. Down below in the relegation places, you have Huddersfield Town in 24th place on just 22 points with a minus 9. Wigan are in 23rd with 24 points on a minus 14. And Blackpool are in 22nd on 25 points with a minus 9. Notable shit clubs are Hull City only on 27, Cardiff only on 27, Rotherham only on 27, and Bristol City only on 27 points. With those, Bristol going back down the way. Bristol are minus 3, Rotherham minus 6, Cardiff are a minus 8, and Hull are a minus 14. So as we get to the end of the season, we say it all the time, that goal differential is worth an extra point in the Premier League or in the championship in your bid to either stay up or get promoted, because so often after so many games, teams are roughly tied on points.
Exactly.
So,
well, that's going to wrap it up, boys and girls. Sammy, any parting words?
No, I think I got it all out during the betting segment.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah, I'm feeling okay now. There weren't very many dickheads this weekend.
Yeah.
At all. It was okay. Everybody came back, feeling the festive spirit.
Oh, we're going to go ahead and try something very interesting here, Sam, because I don't know how to overlay music at the end of the show. So we're just going to kind of slide this in. That's going to wrap it up, boys and girls. Next up is Injury Time. Injury Time is where you're going to find out about all of our adopted clubs. You're also going to find out about the beers we've been drinking, talk about fantasy, and preview next week's action. Should somebody want to find Injury Time, Sam, how do they go about doing it?
One more time, let me open my mouth and my ass and let you know that it's www.patreon.com/DUFootballShow. To $5 tier, you get everything extra that we do. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston.
Sam Houston?
Arsenal fans have another Sam. Craigelachie, the fucking Gooner Graham. Stump of a lord. Looks great in shorts.